Alright, so yes, Bethesda is clearly working on a brand new update for Oblivion Remastered. Yes, we're talking about enchanting and spell making here, plus some other very important quality of life improvements as well. Bethesda opens up and admits that this one thing was a big mistake for Oblivion, and it is still in Oblivion Remastered, which blew a lot of people away. But will we see future updates to the system? And we also have a fairly big warning: if you're ignoring this one quest line, well, it could end up being a fairly big mistake. Or not. As I've always told you guys, play the game how you want to play it, however it turns out. But yeah, we're going to talk about it anyway. But I got a question for you guys. Would you be willing to lay down even more money for another Skyrim remaster? And we're going to talk about how it could potentially be remastered on Unreal Engine 6 if in fact we do see a Skyrim remaster. And yes, as always, I'm going over your top comments, but you know what? Check this out right here.
Alright guys, you've got to see this. Opera GX just dropped a massive update and it's looking sleeker than ever before. Huge shout out to them, by the way, for sponsoring this video. And the mod interface has been totally revamped, making it easier to customize your browser exactly how you like it. Check out this Oblivion theme I installed. It has an animated wallpaper in the background. It has its own unique sounds. Take a listen. And the Oblivion theme even changes the color to match the Oblivion atmosphere, if you will. And there's also theme music and more with this theme as well. You can completely customize your browser experience with effects like shaders, web modding, and speed dial effects, interface elements like wallpapers, themes, app icons, fonts, and so much more. And many of these mods also include their own custom splash screen as well. And remember, there are tons of mods and themes to choose from for Opera GX, and there's some really cool effects, music, and sounds these mods all have. Also, you can save your own presets. Installing themes and mods is super easy with one click, just like I did with the Cyberpunk 2077 theme. And check out the new and improved sidebar that includes modules like the GX Control, which allows you to control RAM usage, limit CPU and network usage used by Opera. Also, the GX Cleaner lets you clean up things like cache, cookies, and a browsing history with the click of a button. And there are so many additional settings too that give you full control of your Opera GX browsing experience. Also, stay up to date on the latest gaming news and updates with the all-new GX Corner, which has been completely redesigned. And I can't forget that Opera GX has an import tool that allows you to quickly import all of your settings from your previous browser to GX, like browsing history, bookmarks, and cookies. So upgrade to the best browser for gamers. Join me and download Opera GX for free by clicking on the link in the description below. And a huge thanks to Opera GX once again for supporting this video.
Alright, so let's find out what Bethesda has confirmed that will be fixed in upcoming updates and patches, so check it out right here. Here's the question: what do I do if the menu freezes during enchanting in the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered? Apparently this is a problem. They say this: we are aware of an issue where you may sometimes have the menu freeze when you are enchanting items. This issue will be resolved in a future patch, so that is 100% confirmed, but we have a little bit of a workaround. It says if you are experiencing this issue, completely X out the game and restart the game. That's a no-brainer. PC only, complete, disable, and remove all mods. And of course, you can verify those game files, and that's the only workaround they have currently, and that is why they're so adamant about having that fixed in a future update. Again, hopefully we hear about some sort of release schedule for this update or a release date. But I think they're just going to drop the update then with patch notes, you know, kind of like shadow drop that update like they shadow dropped the entire game. We also have this one: what do I do if I can't change categories or select skills in spell making? And yeah, they did confirm that they are aware of that issue where you may not be able to select effects, attributes, as the menu won't let you move to select a different attribute or skill with the controller. This will be resolved in a future patch as well. Now, some workarounds. Meanwhile, if you are experiencing this issue, exit the altar, press the name button early before you confirm the effects, create a save, and then reload that save as an option. Reload a save from before you enter the area, fast travel out of the area, and then come back. Sometimes you may need to fast travel out, wait for 3 in-game days, and come back as well if that's not working. And completely X out of the game and restart the game as well, and then disable, remove all those mods, and finally verify your PC files, so on and so forth. So yeah, it's important that they get that one fixed. How many of you guys are actually experiencing that issue? Sound off. But what do we got next here? So we have this one: what do I do if I don't see any subtitles for NPCs dialogue in the Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered? That sounds like such a pain. They say they are aware of the issue, no workaround, but it will be resolved in a future update. Always gotta have subtitles, at least for me when I am playing my RPGs. Now we have, what do I do if my vampire character is suddenly bald in the Elder Scrolls for Oblivion Remastered? Well, this is what you do. You shut off the game, you open up Final Fantasy Rebirth, and you head to the bald bar. No, I'm just kidding. But they did say that there is an actual workaround for this. If your character is suddenly bald, try drinking someone's blood to restore your hair. In addition, if you have installed any mods add-ons, you may want to disable those as well. But yeah, apparently you can go drink someone's blood and that'll solve that problem. But we also have, what do I do if I can't activate quests or select skip to current step using a controller? And they say they are receiving these reports that console controllers are not able to activate skip to current step on quest from the main quest journal page. And they said if you are experiencing the issue, from the quest screen, highlight the quest you want and select the option examine it and activate it, or choose skip to current step from that screen. And I imagine they will have some sort of, update to this. I didn't say they were going to address it in a future patch or anything like that. Would have been nice if they said that, but I imagine that would be in their quality of life improvements as well. All right, so yeah, this is also another pain in the butt that some players are running into. It says, why am I hearing strange noises inside Frostcrag Spire? And they did say if you are experiencing the sound of a wall turning away every time you enter the main chamber of Frostcrag Spire, exit the area, wait for 3 days in-game, and re-enter. It's so weird how it's like 3 days in-game. But anyway, but we also got to talk about what Bethesda is calling a mistake for Oblivion and even Oblivion Remastered. Check out the headline right here. It says, The Elder Scrolls Oblivion's original level scaling system, which is still in Oblivion Remastered, was a mistake, designer admits. Do you guys agree or not? Or are you just like fine with the current leveling system and you're kind of used to it? And the biggest question out of this, though, is do you think that it needs to be overhauled and updated? I do not think they're going to do that, by the way, at all. Don't hold your breath. I think they're just going to have modders do that for us. But let's get into this. It says, amid the heightened interest in all things The Elder Scrolls Oblivion, brought on by Bethesda's popular remaster, love to see it, its original designer has admitted the game's level scaling system was a mistake. Oblivion's level scaling system is perhaps one of the most frustrating aspects of the 20-year open world and role-playing game. It means loot acquired is tied to the level of your character at the point you acquired it. So if you complete a quest for a coveted sword at level 1, you'll get that sword locked at level 1 power. If you complete the same quest at level 25, you'll get the sword at level 25. This frustratingly locks that cool sword you got at level 1 to level 1 power for your entire playthrough, no matter how much you level up. In fact, players could, through no fault of their own, complete quests too early, rendering unique items useless later in the game. I think this was like originally intended to ensure that you are trying out a multitude of weapons, but it also limits player freedom. Like if you really like something, you should be able to, have that upgraded and so on with your leveling. Now we have original Oblivion designer Bruce Nesmith told Video Gamer that the game's level scaling or world scaling system was a mistake. Bethesda ended up changing the level scaling for 2011's The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, which most fans believe was for the better. I had a very substantial hand and voice in both leveling systems, he said. The nuts and bolts work, the mathematical mechanics, that was my work, and I'm intimately familiar with how both those things work. I think the world leveling with you was a mistake, and that's proven out by the fact it did not happen the same way in Skyrim. That we came up with a much, much better way to continue to provide the player challenge without making it feel like, oh, it doesn't matter that I went up in levels, the dungeon went up in levels with me. Which some people might actually like. That's the thing. Some people might like that challenge and not feeling like they're too overpowered or godlike. They might enjoy that. Who knows? But for the most part, from what I am seeing from this community, a lot of you guys prefer Skyrim's way of leveling. It's interesting, though. A lot of people also feel like Oblivion also has mechanics that Skyrim just does not, that Skyrim actually is lacking some mechanics that Oblivion introduced, which is so weird that you see that difference between those two games. So I'm wondering, will Elder Scrolls 6 be the best of both worlds between Oblivion and Skyrim? That would be very, very cool. And if they could even take it further, of course. But the leveling up process, I have to admit, is really nice, as highlighted right here. Check it out. Upon resting in bed to begin level up screen, you're now presented with a list of attributes and 12 virtue points. If I could mention real quick, I always told you guys in other videos about other like open world games and stuff, I really do want like sleeping to matter and the bed to matter, where you have to go back and rest. And I do really appreciate how you have to utilize sleeping in this game to kind of level up. I think that system is really cool. I also do wish that there was more to it, like where you get additional bonuses for paying attention to, you know, your sleep, your fatigue, taking care of yourself. I personally really like that mechanic, especially after playing a lot of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. But this, of course, is not Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It's its own thing. Furthermore, they say this, since the points can be allocated regardless of which skills you improved, you can now align your attributes increases during each level up without fear of becoming underpowered by allocating points to attributes that your character may not use as much. The only exception to this is, of course, luck. It requires 4 virtue points for every point added to the luck attribute. Now, they did say this, there have also been a few changes to how certain skills increase. Mercantile, for example, increases at rates that align with how expensive the item bought or sold is, and the magic skill increases faster when using spells with a higher magic cost, making spamming low-level spells to increase skills faster a less effective method, which I actually like. That completely makes sense. Now, what about that warning that I mentioned earlier in the video? Here's the headline. So yes, Oblivion Remastered players are warning newcomers to do that Kvatch quest before the level scaling makes it an absolute nightmare. And I should really mention real quick, if you are brand new to Oblivion, minor spoilers ahead. This is like generic plot point stuff, at least in my opinion, but still, I'm gonna warn you anyway. But anyway, let's get back into the article. It says this, breaking the Siege of Kvatch is the 4th main quest and tasks you with defending the Siege of Kvatch against the Daedric hordes. It involves going through an Oblivion Gate where you'll face off against multiple high-level enemies. Once you've done that and closed the Oblivion Gate, you have to clear out the Daedric invasion in the main plaza of Kvatch itself. And here's where it gets tricky. It says, if you waited too long and level up a lot, you'll find that all of your helping friends are quickly killed because the enemies you're facing off against are extremely difficult. Due to Oblivion's level scaling system, the higher level you are, the tougher those enemies will be at higher levels. Kvatch will throw every variety at Daedra at you, rather than easy to kill scamps. You might encounter a room full of Daedroth, strong crocodile-headed bipedal Daedra, Daedric princes, or other monstrosities. And this was also highlighted with this thread right here. Look at this. Looks like it was quite the challenge. Now it goes on to say this. I did it at level 15 and it was miserable. There was at least 8 Daedroths, 2 Flame Archinox, a few scamps, and a mountain of clan fears hidden under the Daedroths in this picture. I drank at least 20 to 30 healing potions during this. Every piece of equipped armor broke, as well as most of the spares. Damn, all my enchanted weapons ran out of charge, Imperial Guards were useless. This took 15 minutes from all the pausing and inventory checking I had to do. You can see he is not the only one that went through this hellish nightmare. So yeah, let me know if you guys actually made that mistake, if you want to call it a mistake. Because some players might actually be like, hey, that's the way, you know, it played out. I enjoyed the challenge. And some of you might actually be like, you know what? I'm going to hold off. I actually want to see if I can endure that type of challenge as well. So maybe it'll become a thing, you know? But yeah, there's a little bit of a warning there about that one. For those of you that maybe are holding off, but maybe it's also too late for you. You know, sound off if it's too late and you're probably kind of worried now. But you'll be fine. Don't worry. Just load up on a lot of health potions. Make sure you have, you know, potions for your magic, of course. And you will be fine, I think. But yes, we're actually talking about it. Oblivion Remastered looks so good that I can't believe I'm saying this. I kind of hope Bethesda's remasters Skyrim again too. Oh boy. So yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what type of opinion you guys have about this one. Because also your opinion might change when I mention one thing. So hear me out. So yes, of course, we have Oblivion Remastered on Unreal Engine 5, and it looks absolutely beautiful. It's brought this game back to life, and they've also improved the gameplay. Now, you think about running Skyrim on Unreal Engine 5, and you go, damn, that would look absolutely beautiful. They can update the gameplay even further, of course, if they wanted to. Maybe they wouldn't touch the gameplay, though, because I feel like a lot of you guys feel like it's fine. However, you have to consider that I would think that we would get Fallout 3 remastered first. At least that's what it looks like according to leaks. And then by the time they would be working on a Skyrim remastered, I would think we'd be well into Unreal Engine 6. And let me tell you what, that would look absolutely gorgeous running Skyrim on Unreal Engine 6. So yeah, that would, I don't know. Maybe just maybe by that time we would be ready for it, you know? But I also think it might be wise to have some space in between. this is my opinion on what they're going to do. They're going to release Fallout 3 Remastered. We're going to get, of course, Elder Scrolls 6. And then I think they would probably remaster yet again Skyrim on Unreal Engine 6. That's my theory right now. That's the working theory. Let me know if you guys think that's a good plan or not. If Bethesda should do that, we'll see what happens. But anyway, you guys know what time it is. It is time to go over your top comments. Remember, as always, leave a comment down below. It can end up right here on the screen in a future video. So let's see what you guys had to say. I would love a cleared locations on the map like Skyrim. I know dungeons and caves repopulate after a few days, but it would still be nice to know where I've been and cleared already. Locations pop on the map too frequently to remember. Yeah, it just gets so cluttered, and just having that marking to know I've already been here, done that, that would be super helpful. Also, we have interior maps should have their own button on the map screen. It drives me nuts even to this day. Kind of confused as to why that wasn't included in there, because yeah, I'm always opening up the map, especially in dungeons, to kind of see where I'm going, because we don't have like an overlay map like something like Path of Exile 2 or something like that. Which, by the way, would you guys like to see something like that? I don't know if it fits actually in Skyrim. I don't want too much clutter, you know what I mean? And we have, they need a barber or mage that can help change your face. I'm surprised this isn't added in a long game like this. You know, maybe they can consider doing an update for that down the road. You know, you don't see your character in third person, though, like you would in Fallout 4. So I'm going to be honest here and say it's probably not high on their priority list. Now we have, they need to allow our characters to sell spells or delete them so we can keep our spell inventory clean. It's great to create spells until you have 20 of them you don't like or use, cluttering up the inventory. Another fantastic idea, 162 upvotes right there. But we have some DLC ideas as well. DLC where they rebuild Kabach would be amazing. Have a whole new city to explore with quests, guilds, arena, and all. Dude, that'd be sick. And kind of align with current trends with what's happening with other open world RPGs. I'm looking at Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 specifically, because they're going to also have it where you can rebuild the blacksmith in the future. So yeah, it would make sense to have something like that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, for all the love and support on the videos, and I love reading your comments. Keep those ideas rolling in here. You never know what Bethesda will do based on your feedback, what's popular. You know, hopefully it pans out to where we actually get some fresh new content for Oblivion Remastered in 2025. That'd be wild. But thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care.